Scott, the game started so well. What happened from midway in the second quarter onwards, in your opinion?
Well, I think, credit to them. They really just got after us and physically just manhandled us just in a lot of areas. We missed a lot of assignments that we usually are pretty much on point with. And obviously their shooters started seeing the ball go through the net, and like any team, when we've done it to them and they did this to us right now, it opens up a lot of other things. So I think it's a really, really good learning experience by our group. If you want to get into the playoffs and you want to play playoff style basketball, that was a great example of just a physical game, and they were the much more physical, much more dominant team. I thought they did an outstanding job of just owning the floor on both ends of the floor. And I'm still very, very excited about what lies ahead. To beat that team twice and win the series from them is a great credit to our group. And we just move on, flip the page, and we're off to the next one.
We haven't seen it happen to you in terms of a blowout this season. Might sound like a funny question, but can it turn into a positive if you're able to learn from it and bounce back and take some lessons from it?
Well, I think we have to take lessons from it. It's our first year, and everything's a learning experience. And yeah, this is, I think we've had 2 or 3 games that have gotten away from us that, were on the verge. This was probably the most dominant game of someone just, beating us at every phase of the game throughout the entire game, especially the last 3 quarters, and we didn't have a lot of answers. But I think it's just a really good learning experience for our group to go through, and the style of play that's needed when you start getting closer to spots that are crucial to get into the Final Four.
I'll just ask you about at the end of the game, did you feel like Antonius Cleveland was being a little bit disrespectful with what he was?
I really don't have any comments on that. I talked to Gorge, and Gorge said he would handle it, and Gorge is first class all the way, and I'll let him handle his team. And I don't really have any comments other than, again, this team's here to represent the entire state, and we don't back down from anybody, and we'll continue to fight, and we just move on.
So I can ask from a player's point of view, you got to make your NBL debut. Obviously the result didn't go your way, but it must have been exciting to get out on the court.
Yeah, it was very exciting. Being a local and getting to play in my hometown is very special. Unfortunately, we couldn't get it done tonight, but it was, pretty special for me.
How nervous were you feeling when you stepped out there? What was the feeling like?
Yeah, no, I was very nervous, especially just like a lot of people that I know in the crowd as well, probably, pushed that a little bit as well, but no, it was very cool.
To do it down in Launceston, did that make it that little bit extra special to get on the court for the first one?
I think like if it was at my state or here, it would have been very special either way, but just being able to play in front of my family and friends is, something I couldn't ask much more for.
What has this whole experience been like, being part of this team, being part of the start of this team, and now being able to call yourself an official NBL player for the Jackrabbits?
Yeah, I've loved being a part of the team, and just to be a part of this first year and the culture we're building, I think is something that's going to be carried on for a very long time, and that's something that I'm super grateful to be a part of.
It's got a trip to Perth now. It's a big test, but it's an exciting one too, because last time we played there, I think it was the biggest ever crowd in that building, so there's going to be a big crowd there again, and I'm sure that's something you're looking forward to.
Yeah, I mean, we have, I don't know exactly the order of them, but we have a lot of obviously very difficult games ahead of us, Perth being one of them that's ahead of us. And again, on the road, it's always difficult to win and play, and we haven't had a lot of answers for Perth just in general, so we'll have to regroup here in the next day or two and then refocus and see what we can do down there. But it's always a great place to play, great atmosphere, a heck of a team, so it'll be exciting for us.
Thanks, guys. That's it for me.
Yep.
Hi, it's Brian here from the Examiner. Congrats on your first official minutes, mate. It's great to see you out there. And having been in the stadium, you got a massive cheer from the home crowd. Was it special that it fell at this particular time? And did you know from Scott that you were going to come on, or was that a complete surprise?
No, it was a surprise. I figure it was because of the result at the end of the game, but it was still very special to be able to play in front of my family, friends, and home crowd. So it was a very cool experience for me.
And Scott, for yourself, obviously it's a great thing, so I would very much deserve your spot as well, but you obviously had a sense of occasion that it was at his home court, and it would be a great thing for him to experience that.
Yeah, I mean, let me just say a few words about him. He's just a first-class kid, and he's exactly the type of players that we look for in Tasmania moving forward. Guys that have played for multiple coaches, guys that have left the state to go play on select teams, guys that are going to go to college and experience the college experience. Size, exactly the kind of player that we hope to continue finding in Tasmania, and he represents the state great, and you know, he's the king of Launceston, and but he's just a humble, hungry kid that's worked very, very hard. The guys really have enjoyed having him around, and we know he's going to have a very successful college career, but he epitomizes everything that I think Tasmanian players should be, and he's a great role model for the young kids coming through of what it means to work hard on and off the floor and carry himself the way he does.
Yeah, it's great to hear. Just watching the game a little bit, like Luke, you were saying before, that the first quarter with Flynn coming out, and it seemed like he had hands of gold. I think he got 4 3-pointers in a row, and it's very exciting to watch. And then it just became hard to score. I know you talked about it being quite physical and manhandle, but what do you feel you can do next time you're in that situation where you know the scoring does dry up and finding an avenue to goal?
Well, I don't know if it's, you know, what we can do next time other than to continue to work on the things that we've been working on offensively. And, you know, this is one of the few times I think where we haven't really, in the last, I don't know, 6 to 8 weeks, been able to easily get into some of our things. And again, I think it's just a great learning experience of what we need to do to fight pressure and in some counters that we'll have to continue to develop and work on. But again, it's a great learning experience for this group to have that kind of pressure and to play at that kind of atmosphere. And I told these guys before the game, you know, they've earned the right to be in this position these last few weeks to cause problems within the league with the standings and people winning and losing games and where people end up falling. And you know, we're sitting 10-10, and I'm super proud of the fact that these guys continue to battle and compete. And we got 8 more games left, and we'll see what happens.
Great. And just finally, it looked like everyone got through okay, but any injuries at all?
I have no idea, but I'm assuming everyone's fine, but I have no clue, to be honest with you.
That's okay. Thank you.
Just the ball pretty hard tonight. It's going to be difficult to get to rebound the boys for the first game and get that confidence back.
Oof.
Tell me to ask the question again.
Can you ask that one more time? It was muffled, sorry.
All right, try again.
There you go.
Illawarra first half bubbled pretty hard tonight. How hard is it to regain that confidence and rebound in what's going to be a pretty tough next game?
Well, we're extremely confident about what we're doing because we're going through the work and doing the process, and they got the better of us. It's just a game of basketball at the end of the day. It's not life or death for us other than to go compete and represent the state as best we can, and we got manhandled. That's really it at the end of the day, and our guys will bounce back and try to compete again in Perth. You know, we're obviously playing with a little bit of smaller lineup in general that's been effective in the past, and you know, we got bullied around a little bit, but again, I think it's just a great learning experience.
And with 8 games to go, it's a pretty long run up to the finals. Are you treating like every game as a final from now on?
I don't treat any of them like a final. For me, it is culture, character, go through the process, do the work the first year, build our basement, make sure it's strong, make sure these guys are being held accountable for what we expect within the state here to represent the Jack Jumpers. That's my mission this year. The wins and losses take care of themselves as we go, but we've never talked about the ladder or playoffs or whatever it may be at the end of the day. It's just the next game and going through the process to make sure that we have a strong foundation here to build upon.
Okay, thank you. And other than the guy sitting next to you, what was the main highlight? What's the main positive you could take out of tonight?
Is that to me?
Other than
Sorry,
Scott.
that was to you, Scott.
Oh, well, what's the main takeaway for us tonight is, you know, I think, again, we got manhandled in a lot of areas, and we just have to get better in them.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I think you're good.
Okay, fantastic.
Thank
Thanks.
you.